What's going on, everybody? We're here with Wes from FP Block. We're at the Genzio gaming house. It's even more exciting for Rare Evil 2025. Wes, thank you so much for joining me here.
Thank you for having us.
All right, we got to break it down. You got so many updates going on. You got Comey. You guys are actually doing a demo right at Rare Evil. But before we get into that, tell me about yourself and how you got into this crazy world of crypto here.
Oh, wow. So I've been doing technology for 40 years, literally. I've seen every cycle from the beginning of, basically the IBM PC days, Microsoft DOS days. And I've always been in infrastructure up through my career. About 6 years ago, I exited a company that was doing spend management for travel for corporate America. We took all that manual stuff and stuck them on a couple of different platforms like SAP's Concur and things like that. And very successful exit there. They're now part of JP Chase Morgan. And I left at that point. Connected up with Aaron Contour, who was the founder, looking for a CEO that was an operator, and it all worked out from there. So
Very cool.
They've been in crypto, or we've been in crypto since 2015, cloud since 2012, and it was a lot of fun. Learned a lot, and we were having a good time.
I love to hear that. Now, being a CEO that's actually an operator, because in crypto, we see a bunch of CEOs, and all they do is walk around and try to raise money. You're actually getting things done. That's very different than what we see out there. Is that a benefit to FP, or do you think that takes away from the fundraising side of things?
I don't think it takes away from the fundraising side of things. From an operator perspective, we are very efficient. We make sure we run our business tight with all the KPI metrics. We make sure our team is very much funded, make sure they have the tools they need to do it. We make sure our contracts are tight. All the things you got to do to make a company good. Walking around, pressing the flesh, talking to folks, not a talking head. There's a lot of talking heads out there. At the end of the day, may not be as much flash, but at the end of the day, we get it done.
It's so different because in this space, it's all about hype and these like these new companies. And here you come and you're like, we don't care. We just want to build things.
Yep.
Right. I can't wait for this entire space to be exactly the way you're moving in it. I mean, you guys are profitable. You're doing a great job with new applications, and I definitely want to get into Comey, but it's very different. What's the response from people when they see you guys? Oh, you're just actually building things and making things happen.
It's funny because you see really two ends of the spectrum here. You see one group of folks going, "Yay! Finally, we're getting an adult in the room," type of thing. We're getting responsible. We're not delivering crap, and we're starting to mature and simplify the space. So enterprise will come in. So the average user will come in. Which is, as we all know, is a big problem in this space right now. Is we don't have any users in the Web3 space. We keep building for the same people, and that's just a small subset of the world. So we see that, and then on the other side of the spectrum, we see folks like, Big Brother showing up. It's like we don't want these big companies coming into our space and pushing out. They're protecting their little revenue streams.
Absolutely.
If you look at the name of the game that this world we live in, which I don't think is the right way to play the game personally, is let's build a crappy app so we can launch a token so we can make the money on the token and then, wonder why my token's worth, less than a penny.
Yeah.
Because you're just trying to make a buck. And, you look at the bigger boys out there, the Cardanos, the Midnights, the, Polygons, all the L1, L2s out of Ethereum, Solana. They're trying to protect their interest, and they're trying to say, hey, let's form these, groups to come together and try to simplify. And that's what's going to happen. Yeah. I think honestly, 85-90% of the names you hear today will not exist in 5 years. They'll be gone. We're going to consolidate this industry. We're going to get to single chains. Tokens will become irrelevant for the most part. There'll be just a few, probably BTC, and maybe some utility tokens within applications. But I think we'll get more, just like if you go back into the 80s and 90s, where you went from IBM, DEC, Wang, Sun, Apollo, and you had to be in their ecosystem, doing it their way, and you couldn't talk to the guy next to you. We're kind of going through that wave now. And then, nowadays we're at the point with, we went through the whole web internet phase in the 2000s or late 1990s. And, now you don't care. You just go and open your app, you log into it. You don't care what infrastructure you're running on. You don't care what's going on in the background. All you know is what you're doing is easy to do. It's safe, and you can just roll with it.
Yeah.
And there's a trust factor there. We don't have a trust factor in this space yet because of all this nonsense going on with the hacks and the hype and the rug pulls and things like that. So we got to get that out of here, and got to get it out of here sooner than later, or we'll just kind of go off into oblivion.
Yeah.
But the blockchain technology is great, and it really does serve a purpose. We just have to get all this hype and noise that surrounds it today and actually get it into a place where people can use it at an enterprise level.
So I guess that's what you're doing with Comate. You're saying, like, let's just
Absolutely.
forget about all this crap, all this hype. Let's make something that people can actually build on.
Exactly.
So tell me about Comate.
So Colme, Michael Stoyman, who's our VP of Advanced Software, we've built over, I think we're at 112 successful projects that we've done in this space over the last 10 years. And a lot of them are lifeboats. A lot of them are the founder, CEO comes in, hires a cheap team of engineers or developers or whatever they are, builds a crappy product, doesn't work. One of our clients, they had an Armenian development team basically build it, and then they turned around and hacked them the day they launched. Just took $50,000 right out of them.
Wow.
So there's, we see a lot of that. We see a lot of guys, 3 years ago, Poly was the place to be, Polygon. I got 4 customers now asking to lifeboat off of Polygon, go to Solana, people are chasing chains, and we're seeing that. And what we came up with, and we keep looking at, if you look at the major problems in our space: gas fees, congestion, reliability, storage cost, storage itself, compute, multi-wallet, multi-sig, all these things that are very difficult to deal with, especially when you're trying to go cross-chain. We looked at that and said, that's what's holding us up. Let's just look at the world from a different perspective. And that's what we did. So Colme is basically, your application is the chain. It's your chain. You don't have to worry about congestion. You don't have to have gas fees. It's triadic security model. So you can set how many validators you want as listeners, approvers, or validators. And you can have as many as you want, as little as one. You just have to have 3. So your security's in place all the way across. It's fully blockchain, so it's all transparent. And the infrastructure is immutable. So what that allows you to do when you come in as a builder, you don't have to pick a chain. You don't have to decide, am I going to build for Solana, or if I'm going to build for, Near, or if I'm going to build for Sway or Aptos or Cardano or whoever. You can just build your application and deliver your application the way it should be built for users and for the user experience. And then Colme gives you the ability to bridge through our contract technology setups to all these various other chains. So you can come in with your Solana wrapped BTC, and you can move it over to Ethereum wrapped BTC. And it can go through, so you can move your money or your tokens around however you want. You have a Colme wallet that you can move it through, and it's secure. And that's it. We don't care about tokens. We don't care about what token it is. We're not trying to push tokens. It's just, we want really good applications built so people out there in the real world will come to this space and really grow the business. That's what we see. So that's what Colme is all about.
So finally, some real chain abstraction.
Hope so.
Yeah, because right now that's what people do, right? They chase liquidity. They're like, I'm gonna build where the money is,
right?
And people are literally jumping from chain to chain and having to redo their applications, and it's not always safe either when they're trying to do some of these things.
And that's the thing is, why are you building your application multiple times? Because you're chasing a chain. You're chasing like you said, the liquidity. You're chasing, the people that may or may not be the guys that you really want to play with down the road. Half the time the chain might be up, half the time it might be down. In certain cases, certain ecosystems are dying, certain ecosystems are getting hot this week, they may not be next week. So take all that out. You can use the Colme platform framework to go and hook to whatever you want, whenever you want to, and run from there. So as a builder, as an application person, as a founder and investor, the need for speed to get to market fit is what it's all about. How fast can I build a product so I can go if I got the right go to market fit, and is this the right idea? Or do I need to pivot, or do I need to iterate, or what have you? Using Colme, which in this space, 60% of the build time is in infrastructure for the application. That's gone. So now you've just immediately reduced it down. We've developed a lot of tool sets to go with Colme, outside of Colme, using AI assistance for our engineering team. So what developers and builders were spending 6 months before to get MVPs out the door, we're getting them out in days and weeks.
Wow.
I'll give you a classic point. We took an application, we didn't even have the contract signed, so I was really upset with my VP of platform because he did it. But he literally, we had the code base, we have the NDAs in place, we're going through a contract negotiation, and he literally took an application and rebuilt 85% of it in the weekend. And now all we're doing is making the bridge links to BNB, to Polygon, and to Ethereum. And that's all, and that'll be production ready. And it's like, Nick, we got to get the contract written, signed first. But we got the code base. They don't get it until they pay. But you're seeing that. You're seeing the ability to get MVPs out the door, in 2 months max. And as a person that's investing into this, a builder that's investing into this, a team investing in this, you're not burning your cash.
Yeah.
And that's the key. If somebody gives you $1 million to go build something, you want to make sure you have a long runway. Most teams, and that's where we've run into in the past, they would get their $2 or $3 million for build. They'd spend 6 months, 8 months, it's not right. Then they burn another 6 months trying to get it right, and then they're out of cash. And then they're out of business. So that's why we are doing what we're doing, and that's why we're building it. And we're taking our experience being enterprise. I've been around a long time. Our chairman, Aaron Contour, which you can see on some of our YouTube channels, former Microsoft exec, did all the tooling for Microsoft, a lot of security things for Microsoft. Back in the day in the 90s, we believe in building architecturally secure software first, and then all the bells and whistles. A lot of people build features and then they put the security in as an afterthought. We start from that place first.
Talk about the target audience here, because what you're talking about is great. And like, let's say a founder is looking at it and go, this would be great. I would love to build on this. But is that who you're looking for? You're looking for experienced devs that have been in the space for a while and are looking to further their, development experience.
We're looking for both, really. So, from our perspective, for our business, we're looking for, our ICP, which would be founders, investors, and CEOs trying to get their product to market. That's who we're hunting, so to speak, out there in the world. But we also want the development community to see a better way of building. We have a lot of folks that are very idiosyncrasies within each chain. We can bring in really good devs from the Web 2 world or from wherever else, and they don't have to go and figure out what goes on with Solana. They don't have to figure out what's going on with various flavors of Ethereum. They don't have to worry about, Near's protocol or what have you. They can just focus on building the good application and basically know that they have a platform underneath them that'll take care of all that and eliminate that. So you don't have to have all this expertise within these particular protocols.
Very cool. All right. So I'm a builder. I just got into Web3. Maybe I'm still in Web2, and I'm like, how do I get involved in this space? How do I get started? How do I check out where I should go next? What would you recommend?
Obviously, investigate the chains, understand who's doing what they're trying to do. If you're wanting to build something, let's not keep building the same purpose platforms again and again and again, or options. We just, all you see is everybody's chasing each other, fear of missing out. Think of real applications that have real use cases, that have real user need, and build that. And coming into the Web3 space, that's why we built Colme, is so you don't have to go figure out, do I need to go to Sway? Do I need to go to Aptos? Do I need to go to Near or whoever, Cardano, and get embedded to that ecosystem? Yes, I mean, I have my personal opinions about things like that, because if you look at it, it's almost like they're handing out a drug. Building my ecosystem, I have to bribe you to come to my ecosystem. So I'll give you money to go build an application that we want on our ecosystem. And it's just over and over and over.
Yeah.
And they're trying, and I get what they're doing. They're trying to protect their token value and the foundations or the company's valuations. But that's going to eventually change.
You mean people aren't okay sharing databases?
No, they're not. Well, I mean, it's, if you look at what people are trying to do today is, Cardano is struggling. It's been struggling. We were the original auditors of back in 15, 16, whenever it was. You know, it was not that great then. It's not that great now. Probably pissed off a lot of people saying that, but that's the reality. And Charles is doing Midnight.
Yeah.
And that's great. He's making a very good step to trying to consolidate the industry. He's also probably trying to do it so he's in control of it and he maintains his asset base. God love him. That's great. I think he's a brilliant man. I think he's done a lot for this world. And he's got the audience. Perfect. Great. Go for it. We have a little bit different view. We think a consolidation, well, we both agree we need a consolidation. Yeah. It's just how do we go about it?
Right.
So if you go back, and I'll take this back into my early days when I was young. IBM came out with Token Ring. DEC had Ethernet, thick Ethernet. This guy called Metcalf over at Xerox invented thin Ethernet. And then we moved in. So over time, Token Ring went away, thick Ethernet went away, Star Networks, coax went away, and then we just ended up with ThinNet, which then turned into, Cat 5e, Cat 6e over your telephone lines.
A or B though, which your preferred sequence of cables there? Type A or Type B?
Wireless, just wireless. It's all now over RF, over the radio frequencies and wire. So, and you have that now. Now you can just, basically cell phone to the cell towers and stuff like that. So that whole world's been solved. We've consolidated.
Yep.
There's very few different ways of doing it. You basically got wireless and you got wired. Wired is basically Cat 5e, Cat 6, or whatever.
With a little more shielding. Now we're calling it 6 and 7.
Yeah, whatever.
That's about it.
And, just improving throughput.
Yep.
And, you got fiber optic out there also to drive throughput. And that cost has come down from where it was 20 years ago. So, yeah, we're going through the same thing now. And everybody has their flavor of how we're going to get there.
Yeah.
And it'll be a matter of ease, functionality, and who has a big wallet can drive that. IBM tried really hard. They had a big, big bag of money back in the day. And no one ever got fired for picking IBM. When that was one of our jokes growing up. No one ever got fired for selecting IBM, even though their technology was not the best.
Let me Lotus Notes, man. I had to use that thing.
Well, Lotus was a good company until IBM got hold of them. But that's the point. But like we used to joke, and this is kind of, I don't know, off color, but IBM stood for inferior but marketable, and they had a really good market engine. And there's something to be said for marketing and sales, and makes the world goes around. But you take Apple and their technology's fabulous stuff. They did it the right way. They dominate the market. They're the big boy on the street when it comes to iPads and and personal products. So yeah, I mean, we got to get there. We got to get all these guys into it. That's when you have people talk about, well, we have $4 trillion in locked value in this Web3 ecosystem. Okay, great, but it's not being spent.
Yeah.
Let's talk about a world where Apple just announced this morning they're going to spend $100 billion just to do things in the U.S., build factories and sites in the U.S. That's the kind of money we need in this space. And people saying we're going to build real applications on whatever it is, and financial systems, manufacturing systems, e-com systems, whatever, and start using this technology for that. Then we will be in the right place.
So same cycle as different industry.
Yep. This is the next hype cycle.
Wow.
Next one's going to be quantum.
You're so right about that. Man, like it's so refreshing to have conversations with people that actually get it and are building towards, let's call it a happier future. Because what I've seen over the last 12, 13 years being in crypto is a lot of people fighting with each other. And it's like, we're not big enough in this space to try to
Mhm.
argue and combat one another. Why can't we just come together and say, great, you got something that works there? Use it. You want to build here?
Yep.
Use it. So like
Mhm.
it's a very different approach than I've seen in crypto over the last few years. It's finally getting better, don't get me wrong.
Yep.
But seeing Kome and seeing companies like FP Block come into play and say, hey, we're going to do this the right way so that the users benefit, so that the entire ecosystem, not just mine, can actually thrive.
Mhm.
How long till everybody catches on to that?
Like I said, in 5 years, I don't think 80%
Years.
of the players are going to be here because we're going through that from that early adoption hyper. If you look at the Gartner hyper
Hmm.
loop, we're coming off of that. We're coming down, and it's funny because and you see it now. You started seeing it about a year and a half, 2 years ago. All of a sudden, AI popped up. I remember I was at Blockchain Life in Dubai in the spring.
Hmm.
It was all about mining. In the fall version of it, it was like AI. It was like because mining kind of went away. Still there, but the value of it and the cost of the halvings happened, all that. So now we're in this hype cycle with AI, and everybody's saying AI this, AI that. We say AI. It's really really cool technology. It's evolving very quickly. It is not going to take over the world like everybody thinks it is. You're going to need more engineers, better engineers, not less. There will be a gap, I think, in the junior levels
Hmm.
because a lot of the mundane work can be done. We use it for
Yeah,
documentation and test scripts and things like that. But and we use it to write some code. But you got to have people that know the code
yeah,
and know the logic and know the algorithms because AI lies.
a lot.
If it doesn't know the answer, it'll just throw something in
It
there
wants to make you happy.
that wants to make you happy, but then you're going to spend more time trying to unwind what it did than actually just if you just built it normal. So
Yeah.
we got a lot of maturing to do there, but I think we're going to see this shake out over the next few years. I think if we don't get users into the game, we have this large group of people that are treasure hunters.
Yeah.
And when the treasure's not there, they go away.
Hmm.
And we're getting to the point where the treasure's not there. You have a few select people out there in the world that made a lot of money on their Ethereum or
Hmm.
whatever it was. Some are in prison now, some are being held by governments, in the Luna space and other things. But at the end of the day, there is a group of wealth, and then there's everybody else.
Yeah.
And then everybody else is going to kind of go wherever. They'll go chase the next thing. Let's go chase AI. Let's go chase quantum. Let's go chase wherever they can make a buck. And that's just the way of the world. So don't have any ill will for them. It's just those folks need to move on
Yeah.
now, so we can actually get down to the real business of building things that people want and people need.
Got it. So essentially, hey, if you're a value extractor and you're looking to just get something out of this, Kome is probably not right for you, but for everybody else, where can they go to actually check this thing out?
Well, you can go to fpblock.com.
Mhm.
You can go to, there's a lot of stuff going on here. We're actually announcing it to the world here at Rare Evo. Tomorrow, we're going to be doing a workshop where we're actually going to build a predictive game within an hour
Very
for
cool.
production, multi-wallet, basically taking five different, if you were doing it in a normal way, you're taking five different components
Hmm.
that would be separated. It's all in one executable. It's all within one system, and it's quick, fast, safe, and clean. And you'll see how easy from a builder's perspective it is to build whatever you want to build.
Incredible.
And then you're back to the world of art and UI UX.
Yeah.
So the back end's taken care of.
Phenomenal. Man, I can't wait to see it myself. Really excited. Michael's going to be doing that.
Michael will be doing that. He came over from Israel. He's an American that's expat over there, so he came over. We're running that out tomorrow. We're doing a bunch of press around all that. Like I said, we just went patent pending today
Very cool.
on it. So we're very excited about that to protect it. Not because we don't want the world to do it, because we do have it open source on an MIT license, and we will continue to do that for the unforeseeable future. just from our history and heritage, and we want people to be able to use it. And we'll be there to help them if they need help or whatever. That's what we're there for. If the companies or customers or people want to build applications, we're there to build them for them. If you're a builder and you want to build, go for it. You got the code base; it's out there on the Git, and go after it.
Beautiful.
So one of the things we'll be doing later this year is a hackathon, where we'll be putting out some cash for people building on Colme, probably somewhere with the game space. So look forward to that. And our mission right now is just to get people to start using it and understanding it and putting applications on it.
Very cool. And I guess I got to ask this question. I know that we talked about real builders, but at what level do you feel that these users can come in and utilize this platform? Like, do you have to have a lot of experience? Because even building Web2 applications, it was the death of me having to go on AWS and set up an environment. Like that's the thing I hated the most. Like, just let me build something.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of people in this world that are not true developers.
Yeah.
This is not about vibe coding. This is not about pseudos, whatever. A good engineer, a good builder understands architecture. They understand how to develop. They understand how the math and science works. And those folks will be fine. You talk about AWS and setting up the environments. We actually built tools. We still have those tools. We use these tools. We have one called Amber, which is secrets management. We have one called Zahut, which is a credentialing process within the Amazon space.
That's the worst part.
Well, take a look at Zahut because we can do it in less than 5 minutes.
That's amazing. That's
in and out. We learned that from the Equifax hack a few years ago.
Yeah.
We saw where it happened. It was a piece of credentials left on a former employee who left that had access to the patch servers. And that's how they got in. So, they're real good about getting you on access. Well, not so good, but you can get the access, and a lot of companies back then, or still are, because of the complexity.
Yeah.
Everybody has the same login on their dev teams. Bad practice, but they do it because they don't have the skill set to set up those environments.
Yeah.
We built a tool to let you do that. Doesn't take a senior engineer, junior engineer can do it for you. Anybody that's a decent admin can do it. And from that. And then we also built another product called Cube 360 5 years ago that was basically Kubernetes in a box. You can actually run it, spin it up, boom, have an environment within 20 minutes.
Very cool.
With Kubernetes containers. Still have that out there, still using that. So we've always built things like that from the very beginning. When we started the company back in 2012, our whole purpose back then was to build tooling for Haskell language. We built Hackage, Stackage, ESOD, and they're still out there as open source. They're one of the primary compilers were done by us, things like that. So that our history's always been let's build tools to solve problems, and then give it to the space to use to move forward. And you have your haters and you have your lovers, but it is what it is.
You always will. But
yeah.
Talking about those lovers, what are some partnerships that you've been able to strike with what you've been building?
A couple of things. One, Six Sigma Sports just launched their sports betting app today. It's built on Colme. They have been a customer of ours for several years. We came in as a rescue. They had a large Indian team that failed to deliver a project for them. Basically, it was built on the Cosmos space. So we rebuilt that within the Cosmos space, and then they realized, hey, we need to move to Solana because that's where everybody went. And that was, some of that was kind of our thought. Okay, we're seeing this again and again and again. So we built Colme, we put them on Colme, and they have launched to market today. So if you want to go gaming, Six Sigma Sports, go hop out there. Peter and company would love it. Another company that we are announcing this weekend is a company called Eternity.io. It's a gaming company, NFT card gaming company. They built a platform a couple years ago. It's on the Poly network. They need to obviously look to get into other markets, so we're going to actually move them over to the Colme framework here in the next 10 weeks. So we'll get that going real quick for them. And then we have a couple of high frequency trading platforms that we're in final contract negotiations with that we feel pretty good that we'll have some great success for them.
Very cool.
Our modeling showing that they'll be doing their 1 to 2% a day returns on their trading platforms in the crypto space. So looking forward to that.
Now, something I hear all the time when you're talking to builders is this Frankenstack that everybody has to deal with. Does this kind of take away this, hodgepodge of like trying to fix things and, where things
absolutely.
are broken?
I mean, that's absolutely the whole point. I mean, when I say the idiosyncrasies of these chains, I'm talking about the crappy code that's been built and then forked and then reforked and, we forgot to do this, or, you have these folks that have these egos that think that, that goes with these really smart people is I'm the only one that can solve the problem. Well, not really. Michael and I talk about that. I don't know if you're familiar with Rick and Morty.
Oh, yeah.
So a lot of companies have Rick, and it's like he can be abusive and terrible and mean, and but we can't get rid of him because he's the brains about what we're doing. As soon as you got rid of Rick, the company started running because you figured out after about a month he didn't know everything. He had his view of the world, and that was it. So we got a lot of that out there. I talk to guys all the time that just think they know better than anybody else, and okay, great, have fun, knock yourself out, and then you start seeing, oh, we're supposed to deliver this on January 5th. Well, it's April 5th. Where is it? Oh, we're still working and doing this. It's June 5th. Where is it? And I can throw out several projects that we've been associated with where we've had that issue.
It's the norm in this space. It's sad to say, but it's become the norm.
Yeah. It is the norm, and that's part of the problem. Is it's a small enough industry that two guys and a keyboard can go wreak havoc and be somewhat successful at it. But that's not enterprise. Enterprise is a whole team figuring it out, meeting a lot of different needs from compliance to regulatory to site reliability, so forth and so on. So you got to get beyond that and to be able to support it. Because, you see a lot of these guys, they'll go build an application and they disappear.
Oh, yeah.
Or if it's not quite going the way they want, they'll just disappear and leave somebody high and dry. So
that's the last thing you want if you're building an enterprise level application.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So you got to have the stability there, and we'll get it.
Well, I guess all I can say is that this world is forked. So build on Call Me, guys. This is a very, very cool. It's going to go on a t-shirt, by the way. No, but it's just an exciting time to see really cool things come to light. Dude, I've been blessed to live through all of these times and seeing the change in these spaces. And you're right, the consolidation of space is coming. Just like we saw with the .com boom. Not everybody's going to be left standing, but really cool things come out of it, right?
Yep, exactly. I mean, think about it. .com, AOL, where are they?
Exactly.
They're around, but where are they? Yahoo, where are they?
I know about 5 people that have AOL emails, and they're all over 60.
Yep. Hey, I have an AOL, so I'm not 60 yet, though, but I'm getting there.
It's been phenomenal. I love the fact that people are actually coming into the space with a historical knowledge of where we've been and where other industries have been as well. Because again, I'm not saying that the past is going to repeat itself, but it sure looks a lot like it was before.
Well, if you don't know your history, you will repeat.
Yeah.
And it will not be good. So let's not do that.
No, phenomenal. Can't wait to see what Michael has to share. And I really appreciate you giving us a lot of insight on what's going on with Call Me.
All right. Well, thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, my pleasure.
All right.
Hey, what's up?
But it's not something Genzio is afraid of.
If you want to survive, you got to build a hive.
You know we do not understand that we do not want. Ladies and gentlemen,
We're back at the Genzio Media House.
Awesome. Thanks so much for joining us today.